good morning, good evening, good night, or good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Hello, welcome to Elders Wisdom. What are you doing, setting off fireworks or something?
Who?
You just did a big shh.
No, I'm not setting off fireworks, but
to celebrate the beginning of the show.
No, it's interesting you should say that because Sacha Stone, whenever he does a broadcast now, there's all these big red balloons and things coming up and messages, and he says this has nothing to do with me. He uses a different platform, a bit like what we're doing, Restream, that's streaming out to multiple platforms. But there's somebody's kind of got into Restream and is sending up all these balloons, and he's completely mystified by it. So, you know, who knows what's going on. I didn't see the fireworks, Marion.
I didn't see any. I heard them.
Okay. And
replay now, Juliet.
Replay. You know what? Restream has been very awkward today. I set it all up and then it wouldn't show me, it wouldn't show my camera, and now it's not showing the comments from the guest, and apparently we have 2 guests here. Oh, hang on. No, it's just me. Okay, it's just me again.
Oh, operator error.
Oh my God. You know, I'm so pleased with myself. Like, I've been under so much pressure in the last week or so.
We're here and we're doing it. So even though there's been operator error, it hasn't put a complete spanner in the works. So carry on.
Absolutely. And I just want to offer everybody here these beautiful roses from my garden. I just picked one from the start. Picked one for us to start the show with.
What colour is it?
It's a beautiful pink, and it smells divine.
I went shopping when you bought. I think we bought 10 rose bushes, and they had to be scented.
Those are the ones, and they're all flowering. And as you approach my front door, there's a beautiful perfume of roses now. So it was successful.
Good.
No operator errors with that. They're blooming beautifully. So that's the thing. And yeah, I'm pretty good at gardening. Technical stuff, not so good at. But anyway, we have lovely Debbie here. Hello, can see you both and love your hair and top, Marion, and yours too, Julia. I always notice how lovely you both look. Debbie, you are so wonderful.
You scrub up well, and you always notice. It's lovely. Thank you.
You should have seen me a minute ago. I just came up from the polytunnel. I've been sweating. Ladies don't sweat, do they? Only horses sweat.
I ain't no lady. I'm all woman.
I've been down in the polytunnel all day, and we've got such an amazing crop of tomatoes, and we've got aubergines and cucumbers and what else? French beans, loads of salad. It's looking wonderful down there.
And cropping lots already, yeah, wow.
Yeah, no tomatoes. They're not cropping, but they're flowering. Yes. So it's a wonderful thing. So, okay, we've got a star-packed show, lots to share this week. So how are you, Marion, before I go into all these overwhelming things?
I'm overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I am, at the moment, I'm really overwhelmed. My vision's been really poor for about a week. So it's been a tricky week. I've got things in place now to make things easier. And actually, I've had my friend here today, and I've set my computer up slightly differently. So it's got white boxes around everything. This is great.
Oh, does that make it easier for you to see?
Yeah, because I can't really see anything in between black or white. I'm sort of a bit lost. So
yeah,
it's not white on black. I can't see a white background. I can see on the black background. Yeah. So
well, it's stunning that you're actually here, Marion, and you're doing this podcast every week with me, come what may, even though you're overwhelmed. And you know, I think it's time to kind of sing our own praises. There's nothing short of miraculous that we're actually here, given the complexity and the intensity of the things that we're holding and working with right now. So a good pat on the back. So pat on the back, all of us. Let's have a pat on the back. Come on, because all of us are like dealing with immense challenges right now.
Yeah. And it is so overwhelming because we get sucked in at an information level, don't we? And there's just this overwhelming amount of information, and you feel like you have to sort it out to get on with your life or something. But there's a never-ending plate spinning, isn't there, to sort out or to find out. And then there's this job left undone. This looking after yourself gets left undone because everything's busy.
So we should be at the top of the list to maintain our health, and that's what we're teaching. But it's like in the last couple of weeks, I've been going down to the bottom. Like, whoops, come on, lift myself up again. But it's just like, you know, it's so intense right now, absolutely intense. And it's interesting because Lee Harris, you know Lee Harris, who's channels the Z's. It's a whole. How many people? How many beings are that? The Z's? Are they?
Oh, it's a community. It's like a collective. Yeah, I actually went to see him speak a couple, 10 years ago, maybe more. And he talked about being told off for writing on the walls as a child or something. And the story really struck me. And I had an inflamed liver for about a week. It cleared out a lot of something. I went yellow, went jaundiced and everything. It lasted about a week. They were trying, I had family saying, go to hospital. I was like, no, I'll be fine. I know exactly what it is. I know exactly what's happened. It was such a big hit. You know, when you hear a story and suddenly there's a memory of that happening.
A trigger and it starts clearing.
Yeah. Very liver's about starvation. And then the gall is angry stuff, isn't it? So yeah, that was massive. Starved of love and starved of admiration of the beautiful artwork that you'd just done on the wall, or something.
Yeah. Anyway, Debbie, you're very generous. She said the pink rose and your pink mauve tops look a picture together. I was trying to push it into my bosom, but it keeps popping out, so I don't know.
Easy to
stay down there. Stay in there.
You got your memory foam fillets in.
My what?
Your memory foam fillets, so they push it up.
Oh, my memory foam. I don't do memory foam. Well, no, not a little bit. Oh my God, as a teenager, that's what we used to do, was stuff them down into our bras, you know, to give it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, they do different things these days. They're I mean, it's a bit horrible, but they're removing their bosoms, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
That's horrible.
Yeah,
anyway.
Right. I had someone making a point the other day. It was so interesting when you hear it, because he said, I've never met a 36-year-old man who's gone, oh, I know what I need to do to make my life better. I need to cut my dick off. He said, and I've never yet met a 30-year-old man, as he said, I'm a circumcised man, and I've never yet met a 36-year-old man who said, oh, I tell you what, I better get myself circumcised. It's like, it doesn't fucking happen.
No.
It's just it was really funny the way he did it, but it was such a clear point.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very clear.
Make that decision, yeah.
Yeah. So Lee Harris, the Z's, this is what the Z's have said. I just want to share this with you if you are overwhelmed. So it's like, how are you coping with the amount of changes? Are you worn out, exhausted, confused, disoriented? Well, I can certainly say yes. And he says you're not alone with this. It's in the air. It's in the energetic patterns of people. So he's saying what we're always saying, the need to create some resource. When I say he, I mean the Z's. Make some changes to habits that bring peace. You know, spend the afternoon in the polytunnel.
Exactly, coming into the body. Anything that brings you back into the body and out of the spinning plates, isn't it? You've got to give your mind something to do. Otherwise, it just sticks with all the spinning plates if you don't give it something to do.
Yeah.
And just looking at more spinning plates, you're telling it what to do. So it's like, how do you focus? So I did a really long practice and a meditation today. And it was really difficult. I was feeling really impatient and I kept wanting to, because I'm just on my own, so nobody would know if I'd stopped doing it, you know. But I was really conscious that as soon as I stopped completely centered, focused practice, there's plates available, and it just throws everything out. And I was doing this different step in yoga, there's 8 steps. The Ashtanga is 8 steps. And the middle one is called Pratyahara. And it's once you've learned how to control your habits, once you've learned how to control your posture, once you've learned how to control your breathing, and it doesn't mean control, it means bring back a deep relationship with. Once you've learned how to do all of those, the next step is to direct all of the senses onto the inner plane. And the way you do it, it's funny. You put your thumbs in your ears, your fingers on your eyes, you block your nose and you shut your mouth. You can't hear or see anything. You can't actually breathe either. So you can just kind of move your nose a little bit. So you can't smell, you can't taste. And the only sense that you've got then is the sense of touch. But without all of that information to really focus your attention back in and just keep coming back. And I did it. I must have done it for about 25 minutes. So, and afterwards, that piece Z's just mentioned, that's so available at that point. And that then just gives me confirmation of ways to bring resources, ways to, things to do. And even though it was really hard work and it was uncomfortable and there was a real battle of wills going on within, it still just left this peaceful.
Well done. Because when you're really agitated and the plates are spinning, it's very hard to take your focus off that, and you want to go and go off that.
Well, you keep going into conversations you want to have or things you want. And I had this big wave what came up, and I just got really into a deep emotional pocket. And I'm right. Oh, that was it. It was like, I don't want to be right. I'm fucking sick of being right. Right means I'm currently living in my movie that's fucking Zombieville. It's turned into my version of this life in the world, in the universe, the movie that I'm writing and acting in and everything. It's become a zombie apocalypse. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, shit, that's the movie that I'm in. Whether it's my creation or not, I don't want, my poor little ego is going, I'm not that powerful. But yeah, it was. And it was this really deep understanding that trying to always be right is giving the zombies power over me, over my state. And I don't have to be right. It's okay not to be right. And actually now, when it comes to all the jabs now, I don't fucking want to be right. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't want all these people injured. So it's like this really deep sense of righteousness that actually is more of a coping strategy to draw love or draw admiration or draw connection. But it's not actually a heartfelt thing. It's a manipulating, it's a program. So that makes sense. I went off then.
Well, sure, it's an important process, isn't it? It's important to track that process.
Yeah.
And this is what is required of us more than anything at this moment in time, is like to do this internal work, to do this spiritual work.
Yeah. So I was able to find that piece after I'd got the thing, and then I was able to come in and not worry about being right or not wanting it. Yeah. And when I was in, then coming out with this piece, now I can talk about all of that without getting, because I really fell into a crying, one of those places with this, I don't want to be right anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just slatched up. Someone just sent a message. I just saw a big.
You just saw
a firework of words.
Oh my God! I've not seen any fireworks, Marion.
In the chat.
So yes, Debbie says, have you ever been to the mainstream doctors about your condition? And if so, have they given it a name?
Yes, it's called thyroid eye disease. And the treatment is start off with intravenous steroids for 3 months minimum until they can plateau any activation, and then 7 different surgeries, which involves taking my eyeballs out, taking the bony sockets away so they can fit it all back in and just fit the inflammation back in. They're not going to treat the cause of the inflammation. They're going to cut a hole in my head so it can fit back in, because that'll make me look better, but they can't really guarantee if it'll help my vision or not. It's like, do you know what?
No, that
Yeah.
doesn't sound very helpful at all.
7 different surgeries and that level of barbarism, if that's a word, barbaric treatment in the body, like a big no.
No. And I was listening to another doctor recently who's I can't remember who he is, was talking about like how modern medicine is like, you know, I call it slash and burn.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like everything is about destroying or overcoming the enemy, the virus or the whatever, and it's treating the symptoms.
Exactly.
It's like time to move on from that consciousness is basically what he's saying. It's not about trying to conquer an enemy that's attacking the body. You know, that's the old war mentality that we're trying to move out of.
Yeah.
It's about creating peace. It's like, what do we do to create peace? Because the body can heal itself of anything. We're amazing beings of light. And that's the bit that we need to get. So Debbie's also quoted Seth here. For those familiar with Seth, consider this. Do not personally give any more conscious consideration to events that you do not want to happen. Any such concentration, to whatever degree, ties you in with those probabilities. Yeah. So concentrate upon what you want. And as far as public events are concerned, take it for granted that sometimes even men are wiser than they know.
Lovely. I love Seth stuff. Is beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's what, again, it's great. All these people are just confirming what we talk about every week. What do you want? Work out what you do want and stop talking about what, note to self, stop fucking talking about what you don't want.
Yeah.
Stop thinking about what you don't want.
Yeah.
Start thinking about what you do want.
Exactly. But nonetheless, we are going to be talking about some of the things that we don't want, but like, well, I don't know, it's a balance, isn't it? So Debbie also said, thanks, Marion, for answering that, Marion. It's so interesting. Are you taking the medications?
No, don't know. No, I take a thyroxine thyroid extract. It's from cows in New Zealand fed on organic green pasture, apparently. So I take that as a thyroid supplement because 10 years before the thyroid eye disease, the thyroid eye disease came in India just after my jabs, and thyroiditis that I've also been diagnosed with happened when I was in Africa just after my jabs. So the thyroid was first and then the eyes in India second. And I hadn't realized it was such a, I walked in and rolled up, yeah, I'm going traveling around the world. It's scary, isn't it? Stick a needle. I was so in the program, so in the matrix.
Yeah. And we know now that jabs for anything are really dangerous.
And do you know what? That's helping as well at the moment, because I don't remember it well enough to remember what it was like. But I remember I was convinced whatever my position was. So now when I think about talking to people, even though there's so much information out there, if you've chosen to stay on one side of the fence, I was on that side. Do you know what I mean? And I know there wasn't the same amount of info out there.
And you don't want to change?
No, don't want to. Well, I don't want someone telling me what to do.
That's it. You want to be right. People are stuck in there. I want to be right. Yeah. Yes.
Everyone's just so busy wanting to be right.
Yeah. So Samantha says she did years of traveling and she had jabs.
Yeah.